Hey, it's Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, aka Man of the People, which means I work for you. I love getting questions from you to turn around and ask coaches and players. And hey, breaking news starting next week, we're going to have guests on the show. You got to stay tuned. You got to subscribe to the channel. This is why I keep asking for subscriptions, right? The more subscribers, the bigger we grow, the more we can do fun stuff and having guests on the show. So I really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button. Help us get to 5,100. Heck, we want to get to 6,000, 10,000. All right. So hit that subscribe button. And if you have already subscribed, hit the like button. Helps other Panther fans find out about us. That's the simplest thing that I want you to do every single time. It's like automatic. Watch the video, hit the like button. Hey, what does this say? I got a little message here. Hold on, I got a little technical difficulty message. I'm going to not ignore it, but I am going to introduce to you my co-host, Andre
What
Cassidy.
is going on, everybody? How you doing,
How you
guys?
doing today, man?
Yeah, pretty good. How about you?
You know what? I just know. Did you shave some facial hair?
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
Keeping it nice and clean over here.
All right.
Kind of look professional for all the people out there.
That means I need to shave myself so I can stay we can stay in sync. Hey, I'm not using my earpiece that I normally use, so let me know, viewers, if you hear any echoing. If you hear the echo, I'll put the earpiece in so that you don't hear the echo. But oh, they said echo. All right, so I got to put
It
it
is
in.
echoing a little bit.
All right.
Ain't trying to slander you too much, right?
Yeah, let's see. All right, let's try one more time before I put this earpiece in.
Yeah.
Andre, say something.
So, I know it has been a very interesting 24 hours, I
Hold
must
on,
say.
we're just testing the echo out first, man. Don't get into it too much.
I'll
guys,
do a very general view of it, right?
do you guys still hear the echo when Andre speaks, or do I need to go ahead and stick this earpiece in my ear? It's better,
Andre has an echo.
as in no echo, like, so I can take this thing out of my ear. I'll wait for one
They're
more
saying
person.
I have an echo.
It's
I
better.
have my AirPods in, so
No, well, they're saying you have an echo when you talk, and it's because of me.
yeah.
They said no. I don't know what the no is. No, like, it's not better, or no, it's no echo. I'm just gonna assume it's no echo.
Yeah. I mean, you sound better now
Well, this is
after
no
you put
more.
it in, so
I'm just gonna put this in anyway. You guys can see me do what they do on TV behind the scenes.
mhm.
Need to maybe train the family to continue to be my assistants, and my wife can
Make it a family affair, right?
come and do my makeup and clip on my
Yeah, now
earpiece.
they're saying it's gone.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? My luck. It'll come back, and then I'll be trying to figure it out. And I don't want any problems. Our fans have a
They
rough
deserve
enough time with
top-notch audio
yeah, they have a tough enough time with our team not being any
to
good. They don't
begin
need to
with,
hear echoes when we talk.
right?
I bet you the echo is 100% gone.
I know it is on my end when I'm hearing you.
It's all right. Hey, you know what? We're gonna do things a little different. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Chris Jenkins along with Andre Cassidy, credential members of the media covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe here for the next about 52 minutes to answer any questions that you may have that you want to talk about regarding this team. We only got one little thing that we're gonna do in terms of that we want to say, and then we're gonna turn it completely over to you. Maybe it might be two, but we'll try to keep it brief because this show's all about you.
Mhm.
I want to start with a piece of a clip right here that, let's see if I can share this.
No, um, my job is, and I'm here to do all I can to help us win. It's third down. I'm being taken out the game. I don't think I should be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? So I made a comment. It's money down. Why am I being taken out? And that's that.
Why do you think you were taken out?
I have no idea. But one thing I do, and I always stand on and continue to do is I give my all in everything that I do with this game. I don't play this game for money. I don't play this game for fame, things like that. I play this game because I love the game of football. You know what I'm saying? And regardless of what's been going on the past week, I always keep my head down and keep working, so all I want to do is help us win the Super Bowl, and that's all I want to do. That's my ultimate goal of playing this game, so I'm never going to belittle myself from that aspect or let my character be diminished and be misunderstood, because that's really all it is.
That's what I was going to ask you.
All right, so I just want to play that clip for everybody out there. That was surprising on many fronts. It was surprising what happened during the game with Robby. It happened more than one time with him getting in the face of the wide receivers coach. And you know what I thought about when he did that? I thought about this, I can't say this summer, but I'll just say this summer when we had a chance to speak with the wide receiver coach. And I asked him specifically about Robby Anderson and last year and what he needs to do. And he just kind of spoke highly of the guy, which, you should take the high road and do so. So I'm like, man, Robby, you had a chance to take the high road. And certainly I'm not saying that Robby should never fuss or be upset or yell at his coach. Heck, I'll even curse at his coach. But for me, it was like this nose to nose in the face of your coach is a little disrespectful.
It's a little extra, I feel like.
Yeah. And nevertheless, Robby Anderson was then later told to leave the field, and then surprisingly he came to the media, and that is what you will see as the last official appearance of Robby Anderson, is him wanting to give his 2 cents before he chucked the deuces.
And he said, "We out now."
Yeah, and flew out of here to get to he's with the Arizona Cardinals. So I guess I never officially said this properly, but the Carolina Panthers have traded Robby Anderson. I think it happened probably close to around lunchtime today. The deal was completed. Traded Robby Anderson to the Arizona Cardinals for a pair of draft picks in the future. Nothing for next year, but in the years coming, and nothing super high. I think it was like 5 and 6
sixth
rounds.
and a 7th round pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I want to say
it was. They'll receive a 6th round pick in 2024 and a 7th round pick in 2025. Way down the road there, but that's what happened. So, Andre, I'll turn over to you in case you want to give any comments, and then we're going to crank up all these questions that I see that we're getting.
yes, and we're seeing a lot of comments on here. I know on my end I'm seeing a boatload of comments, but to just turn to what happened yesterday, I mean, it was quite shocking. I mean, I don't want to try to put too much of a spotlight on one individual person. This is a team game, and that's what they said in the press conference yesterday.
I was gonna say, you can't start sounding like the coach here. You sound like Wilkes.
I guess he's taking some of my advice. I guess I don't know, but I mean, when you look at the totality of everything, with the repeated instances of clashing between his teammates and the coaches, I mean, it was only a matter of time before they were going to make a move like this. And he was already on the trading block as it was even before yesterday's game. But I think, the events that took place yesterday kind of amplified the urgency, if you will, of trying to get him out of here. And, I think it's good that they gave him an opportunity to speak his mind during the press conference yesterday before, they ultimately made a decision to trade him today. But, for a guy who, had these outbursts, the performance aspect didn't really back it up. So, I mean, for him, to have this kind of emotional swaying back and forth, it didn't really do him any favors in terms of the production aspect for him on the field.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you there. So, hey, this show's dedicated to you guys, so that's it for me and Andre getting some things out that we want to. Certainly, we probably have more than we want to say, but we're not going to. We're going to respect what the show is about. The show is about servicing you. So let's go ahead and get into it. Ali Broderick, what's going on? Thank you for welcoming me back. Indeed, I think the writing was already on the wall when it came to Robby. So disrespectful, Ali. It's Robby with an I-E.
Yeah, get it right.
If he sees you on the streets, man, he's going to be coming for you. Here we go. Kevin Erbs got it right. Hey, Chris, will Robby ship out, bring maybe Rashard Higgins? Now, maybe. Kevin, you had a few typos, but I got you, man. I got you. I make typos and stuff. We're human. So Rashard Higgins has been a guy that seems like an underperformer. He was brought here mostly, I won't say mostly, but when he came here, you thought about the reconnection of him and Baker, and it hasn't materialized into anything even close to anything in terms of him being on the field, him being productive. So you do wonder who's going to, like, somebody actually needs to step up. I don't feel like they already had somebody in mind that they felt was going to be a good replacement. I know myself, when I was watching the game this past Sunday, I saw Terrace Marshall ball go right through his hands. I
Yep.
saw Shi Smith
Smith,
get the
too.
ball like doused in his stomach. So it's tough sledding. I think it was a move that Wilkes made just to continue to have some control over his team and start to try to get the culture in here that he wants. But I don't feel like it was made because he's like, hey, I got this great wide receiver that's working. We've had guys that look good in the training camp, and
They
oh
were
my God.
duds after that.
Yeah, the quarterback situation hasn't been the best, but all these wide receivers, really all of them, have struggled this season. Terrence Jones, yo, what's good, my man?
What's going
Appreciate
on?
you. Michael Johnson, I'm,
07.
I'm just going to assume he's
I
saying
don't
what's
know.
up.
Okay.
Jonathan Fielder says what's up. That's not Fielder. Is it Felder?
Felder. We'll go with Felder.
We'll go with
If it was
Felder.
Fielder, it'd be with an I.
Yeah.
Oh, here's another regular, Michael Boynton, new
My
family.
man.
We need to hit 1 mil.
We
Hey, I mean, it's possible. I mean, I wouldn't say it would be impossible. So, I mean, if everybody continues to like it up, subscribe, and leave your comments, hey, we could get in the mill in no time, Chris. I don't know about you, but hey, we can make it happen.
Hey, if we get into the mill, we could have everybody on the show every week.
Oh, man.
I'm sure there'll be no shortage of players
We would
wanting
be
to come on the
locked and
show.
loaded if that were the case. I'll tell you that. Panther Pickle, like the button before watching the video. He's doing our job for us there on that one. Michael Johnson, Echo. Yeah, that was from earlier in the broadcast. VO, Bryce Young, and Ken Dorsey, here we come. I guess he's embracing the tank, Chris.
Hey, so do you know much about the college guys? I confess, I don't know much about the college guys.
So there's like a whole list of quarterbacks that everybody keeps bringing up with like Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. There's a quarterback in Florida. I want to say his name is Anthony Richardson, that a lot of people keep tying to with him and Ken Dorsey, trying to emulate the whole Cam Newton and Ken Dorsey relationship again. So there's a pretty good class of quarterbacks coming up in this year's draft.
Okay.
But I ain't embracing the tank yet. Let's be real. I still want to be competitive because here we go. Another year where we potentially could not make the playoffs, and it's been what, like 5-6 years since 2017 since we
That's
last
forever.
made it to the playoffs.
It's been
So
forever, man. It's been forever.
it feels like forever. That's for sure.
Uh,
Are you
I'll give
looking
this
it
one
up
to
right
you.
now?
No, I'm looking up something else, but I'll give this
Yeah.
one to you.
So Vietnam 26. I hope I pronounced that right. Why did we trade Robby for peanuts? We should have just let him finish the year. I mean,
You want me
after
to
what
take it?
took place, I don't know. I mean, after what took place yesterday, I mean, it kind of just accelerated, like I said earlier, the aspirations for trying to ship him out and try to see what we can get in return. I mean, they only get like a 6th and a 7th round pick. I mean, pretty much they were just trying to just ship him out at that point, just getting whatever they can for Robby's services. So ultimately, it was a move that it had to be done because really, the pattern of behavior, I mean, dating back to last year, it just did not really bode well for him. And the writing was on the wall for him as well, too, at this point.
Yep. So did you guys tell Robbie goodbye? So no, the media did not have a chance. Like we don't when things are happening here, I love to give you all some behind the scenes kind of deal because honestly, I say, hey, this is a fun job, and so that's what I've always done in Charlotte. I was share behind the scenes stuff. So if ever there's something happening, and it's probably not going to be when media's around. So it's just how it is, and probably if it did happen, we all sit in a room and we'd be waiting, and they'd probably just have us sitting there and say, hold on, we got something going on. We don't know when it's going to start yet. So you just kind of sit there in limbo until something happens. I know when Rule was fired last week, it was a little bit of like a moment of like, I was actually not at the stadium when he got fired, but I was at the stadium that day. And then there was things going on where we didn't know what was going to go on, and then it was later in the day. So anyway, maybe that was confusing just to say media does not get an opportunity to say goodbye. They get a chance to say goodbye to their teammates, I guess, for what they can, but it's a pretty quick exit out the building when you're leaving the team. Continue to work through here.
Mm-hmm.
Robby
Andrew Bickle, yeah. He killed his trade value Sunday. That's why he did the presser.
Yeah, so
I guess it was a way to try to regain it. A last-ditch effort to try to regain it, if you will.
Yeah, so when you say for peanuts, this is, I've talked about my feelings on Christian McCaffrey being traded and feeling like I'm not against it. I'm not saying get him out of here. Actually, I'm not saying get him out of here, but I'm just saying I'd be pretty open to the idea of trading Christian McCaffrey because he's not at his peak, but he's at a good point. He's had games where he's back-to-back. He's had 100-yard games back-to-back. He has a lot of value. Like, you sell it while it's hot. And with Robby Anderson, he's not been having great games. He's had an okay game here or there because he'll have a long catch. But you want to get these guys out the door when they are doing good and he's on ESPN for a highlight other than him yelling at a coach. So his value was not going to continue to go up. And there was an opportunity. Cardinals gave it to him, and they said, hey, let's get him out of here, because they probably also know as coaches how much they are or are not going to play this guy in the future, right? So if you know as a coach, like, hey, I'm already wanting to get rid of this guy. I really don't like what he did at the game on Sunday. He's barely going to see the field. Well, then you got a potential value drop going there.
And for Arizona's perspective, too, Marquise Brown, their second receiver, is going to be out for the season. So that also has to factor into what they did as well over there because, with DeAndre Hopkins coming back and with him being out for the season, they needed another guy to fill in that void. And I guess for Arizona, they think Robby Anderson's going to be that guy for them here.
Tim Tizzy says, what up, Vibe and Vibes, boy, LOL. My man is Andre Cassidy. Look at there. His name is on the screen. On the screen. You can remember that. You don't even have to remember. Just look on the screen.
Vibe with that nickname, though. Vibes Boy. A.K.A. Vibes Boy. The man of the people in Vibes Boy. I can roll with that.
I appreciate the flexibility.
That's what we've tried to do around here, right?
An unpopular opinion thinks Aaron Patton. I'm going to miss Robby's personality. I thought he was a real and comical guy, but was truly real about his business. Hey, I can respect that.
I mean, it's a fair point.
The fact we even got a trade is incredible. Should have had to cut him. I'm happy we got something in some of his contract taken, says Scrim Brenlin.
I mean, that's a big part, too. Getting his contract off the books is a pretty big deal. Tizzy, you can't get angry when you've been dropping passes. I mean, like I said, the ego and the performance, it wasn't really balancing out. You can't be having these kinds of, emotional outbursts when you haven't been producing on the field. I mean, it's just, you just can't do it. Just simply put.
It's more than an outburst. He invaded my man's personal space. He should be happy.
He almost headbutted him.
He should be happy that that his wide receiver coach was so reserved, because pretty much every person should know once somebody's hostile with you and they invade your personal space, you don't want to end up looking like the guy on the receiving end of Draymond Green's punch because you did not protect your personal space when there's somebody flaming mad at you. And he probably felt like he could take a punch from Robby before whooping him down, and he didn't do anything. But anyway. Vo says we need to keep Christian McCaffrey. He will be a great outlet for the rookie quarterback we draft next year. If we trade him, our only weapon on offense will be DJ Moore. No, VO, when you trade somebody like Christian McCaffrey, what do you think you're going to get back? You don't trade Christian McCaffrey and get nothing. If you trade Christian McCaffrey, you're either going to get a player right away or you're going to get some draft assets. to go along with that rookie quarterback. So it's not like Christian just goes away and we just had this void. Christian goes away and there's a new moving truck that comes up to Bank of America Stadium with some new assets. So, having Christian McCaffrey is certainly awesome. But for me, when I look at what happened yesterday, I know I said that I want about 4 games before I really start to think or feel like David Tepper would know what direction he wants to go with things. For me, it started to come to mind a lot quicker than 4 games, because we had the same stuff that happened yesterday happen all season long. And I apologize. I have not been able to be in the press conferences to ask coaches questions. I apologize. One of the things I wanted to point out to Coach Wilkes is that we still had 17 points. We lose.
The
We
third
still-
downs. That's the
Yeah.
other one too. That's
we
the
still
big
had
one.
2 for 10 on third downs, 20%. That's terrible. And then it spilled over into the defense where they couldn't stop them on third down. So we still have a lot of the same problems that we had the previous week. We just had a different offensive scheme, but we had a lot of the same problems. So for me, it just starts to quickly be like, well, if I hear coaches talk about execution another week, and I guess I somewhat get it. They can't just say maybe what they really feel. But if you're saying we just need to execute, and we're in week 6, we played
7 now.
Yeah,
This
we
is
played
week
6
7.
games. So that means maybe the players are the problem, right? If you keep saying like Chris, you hadn't executed week 1, Chris, you hadn't executed week 2, Chris, you hadn't executed week 3. If you do it 6 times, all right, maybe these guys can't execute that we have, and we need to get some other bodies.
And there's
in
a
here.
common denominator there at that
Yeah.
point. Because again, we're already past the quarter point of the season, and we're approaching practically the middle part of the year, and this is still continuing to be the same problem that's been really plaguing them the entire year. They're literally last on third down, and the second team that's above them, there's a clear difference between 32 and 31 in that ranking.
Yep. I'm not sure what you are talking about. His name is spelled the same way in your title, Chris. What do you mean?
I was referring to, but we'll take it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got nothing for love for Robby the person, but Robby the player been dropping. Not been as good.
Pretty much, yeah. He has not been as good, to keep it PG-13 around here.
Yeah. And I feel like I have seen Robby on some routes when he's not getting the ball, kind of really jog it out.
Mm-hmm.
I vote trade DJ before CMC. No, you guys, I won't say you're wrong. I just have a different opinion. You got to, if we have the more holes that we have, the more things that we need to get. Who's going to get us the most things on this team? Christian McCaffrey
C-Mac.
will get us the most things on this team. It's a lot easier to replace a running back, and I'm not saying exact performance. I'm not saying exact 1,000 yard receiving, 1,000 yard passing, but it's a lot easier to get a good running back in the draft or in a trade that is sufficient and even a little bit better than average than it is to get a quarterback or some other positions that we really, really need to fill. So that's my 2 cents. Andre, you can chime in at any time if you're disagreeing with something.
Yeah, with C-Mac, though, he is our whole offense right now. So, there's that other part of the argument where even if he wasn't there, we'd still be pretty bad, and we're pretty bad regardless, just based off of the rankings. So, there is that balancing act that has to be discussed here. And, when you look at DJ, when you look at C-Mac, you have to look at the trade value and what kind of pull they have. And if the deal is right and the deal is, there, you have to take a look at it. That's your due diligence as a general manager, is to look at all offers that are on the table. And hopefully, if you're Buffalo, if you're Kansas City, if
Don't
you're
say
one of these
Buffalo,
kids,
man.
oh my goodness, he would be a terrorizer with any one of those teams. So, we're listening. I would not be opposed to it if the deal is right. I'm with you on with Chris on that one. We have to listen to these deals because we're not going anywhere with them on the roster.
You know what I forgot to do, Andre?
What'd you forget?
Forgot to put the link out there for people to join our show.
Yes. So
That's
if you
terrible.
haven't heard, there is a link that is in the comments section. Of course, we forgot to put that in there, but it is now live. So if you are watching us, leaving comments on this broadcast, feel free to chime in. I know there's definitely a lot of people out there who have some very detailed opinions about a lot of things that's happening right now. So feel free to join the link and give us a thumbs up, and then we'll have you on here in just a little bit to, have you voice your opinion, because this is about you guys out there.
I will interject here for a second.
Yeah.
Steve Wilkes had his press conference today and basically said that he knew there would be, I don't know if he said he knew, but basically he's aware of the criticism about pushing the ball down the field, passing. He liked his game plan. He doesn't like to second guess himself, so he wasn't going to talk about going back and changing things. His stance on that and how he did it yesterday with those short passes, that does irritate me a little bit. I continue to tell people I'm cheering for him to make the team, but the way he did that yesterday it worked in the first half with the short passes, the screens, handing the ball to Christian McCaffrey, having Chuba, having Deontay in the backfield, and then they went into the halftime, and what did people do? They talked to their players. Hey, what are you seeing? All right, let's make this adjustment. Let's make this adjustment. And they completely flipped the game on us, and we didn't change anything. And I feel like I would like to assume that players are in that locker room saying, okay, hey, I'm not getting the yardage anymore on this play. Or wide receivers, maybe Robby's like, hey, my guy is not even backpedaling anymore when I go to run a route. So we can do something. And we didn't make any changes to that. And then today, P.J. Walker was in the locker room doing media availability, and he just said that, one of my strengths is throwing the ball down the field. And
they didn't do that at all yesterday, practically speaking. Not until he got out of the game, and when Jacob Eason came in, did they really start to try to push the ball down the field, which was a little infuriating to watch all that play out.
Yeah, so Peter said it worked in the first half, but it started going downhill in the second. So if he's saying, hey, that's one of my strengths, then yeah, absolutely, Coach Wilkes put the handcuffs on him greatly yesterday against the Cardinals. Against the Rams.
The Rams.
Yeah, I didn't like that. So anyway, again, as Andre mentioned, the link's out there in the comments. Please join us on YouTube. Come on to the video. Let us know your name and your question. We'd love to hear from you. And I'm going to start speeding up a little bit to go through these questions. Here's some feedback. We did not know what Michael Johnson meant. He is saluting us.
Well, we'll salute right back to you, sir.
Time to run through some comments. What's up, Skirms Brimlin? No way Bryce Young is too injury prone. CJ Stroud is the guy. Panther Pickle, did you see Tennessee and Alabama game?
Oh, that was a great game. 52-49. Oh, my goodness. That was one of the best college games that I've seen in like 3 or 4 years. I don't know if you got a chance to see that, but oh, my goodness. That was a phenomenal game. Panthers Pickle, Andrew Luck was a walking IR list. I hope we never have a quarterback like him. I mean, that speaks for itself there. Rodney W., what's happening, Chris? Don't forget about me too, everybody. The Andre Cassidy. Don't forget to leave me out in the comments as well.
You got is that a I'm not as cool as I used to be. Is this a subtweet? We got Robby Anderson always used the rockets when he does social media.
I guess this is his burner that he's using. 4 more 12.
4 more always comes on. Good to see you.
Good to see you again.
And again, we're here answering your questions. So whatever you want to talk about, Andre and I are here to talk about it.
Absolutely. I felt that Robby was getting traded from that press conference he had. Hey, at least they gave him an opportunity to speak his mind before they said, "Toodaloo, nice
Yeah.
knowing you."
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Get on out of here. He wants to
Get
say his
on
piece.
outta
Let him
here.
say his piece. Seeker says, so about Christian McCaffrey, what is a fair offer and what are the Panthers wanting for him?
At least 2 first-round picks. I know that was one of the key things that they wanted for him was, at the bare minimum, 2 future first-round picks. And then I think a starter mixed in with that and some – that's just from what I've heard through reports. But at the bare minimum, they're looking for at least 2 first-round picks for CMC.
Jonathan Felder says, sadly, we could still realistically win the division.
Man, you are optimistic.
Now,
My
it does,
goodness.
I want to ask if you're talking about win the division in terms of like our divisional record, or if you're talking about win the division as in be number one in the division. Maybe I'm being too technical there, but I just want to point out that back in the day, winning the division was much more weighted than it is now. So back in the day, you could have the better divisional record was the division winner. It's no longer the case. It's the best overall record. So, but like I said, maybe I'm being too technical on him there.
I mean, they're going to have to win the division to get a playoff spot. I mean, you look at the NFC East. I mean, you got 3 teams there that could be in the playoffs just from that one division. So, really, that's their only realistic shot if they still aspire to make the playoffs this year, which seemingly seems so distant now. But they would have to win the division just to even have a shot to make it in there.
Brad Holt said, nah, it ain't happening.
Yeah.
Tim Tizzy's just going to call you Cass. You can't say Cass today?
Yeah, it's an easy name to say, Cassidy. I would say there's an easy way to remember it, but it's not a PG-13 way to remember it. So we'll say off the record what that way is. But come on. And a lot of people say Cassidy because, you know, Cassidy's a more common way of spelling it than Cassidy. But, I mean, it's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory.
You want to get this one from Kenny P?
Yeah, Kenny Pickett. Is he in our comments right now?
I think he's here. He's here hanging out with us, man.
But what is wrong with the Panthers, man? I mean, there's a whole list of things. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. But I think the overarching one that we can all agree with, and this has been the issue since they decided to get rid of Cam Newton back in 2019. Just simply put, we just don't have a quarterback. We do not have a franchise caliber quarterback. And that's part of the reason why Coach Rule got fired was because of the continued efforts to try to get one in. But ultimately, those efforts have failed. I mean, you look at Teddy Bridgewater, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, the list goes on and on and on. You factor that in with, you know, just organizational problems with it's just been noisy, you know, off the field kind of stuff that's been happening around the team. That's kind of amplifying the issues that are happening on the field. You factor that in and you just have a recipe for what's happening right now. Just a period of time right now where there just has not been a whole lot of winning. And it's going to be this way until they have the answers, which is finding that franchise quarterback. Until we get that, it's hard for me to realistically believe that they will build a contender here. And, you know, again, it just feels further away than it should right now. And a lot of people are hungry for wanting that success again.
Guess what? We got our regular Panther Pickle that wants to join us.
Oh, is he on?
He's going to be on in a second. So, Panther Pickle, I'm going to bring you on in just a second, but I will again say interactive show. Links in the comment. If you don't see it, just scroll up. You'll see a post from me. That's how you can join the show. Click on it. Join us on your cell phone, your computer, whatever you want. We'd love to hear from you. I am now going to let the honorary Panther Pickle join us.
Hey.
What's up, guy?
What is going on?
My camera moved. Anyway, quick question for you guys. I know with Robby Anderson departing for the sunnier state, I know there's going to be debate. Would you guys have a guess of who may get the number 2 wide receiver? I know in the official depth chart they have Shi Smith there, but I know that's kind of flux. They may flux that on a game day basis. So
Yeah, I was going to say exactly what you talked about there, Panther Pickle, is that Shi Smith is one that's listed officially
yeah,
on the depth chart. We touched on it early, and I don't feel like they really know who their number two guy is going to be. They
I
just
mean,
had to
there's a
get rid of
whole
Robby
host of people. There's a whole
because it was
host of
time to
people.
get rid of Robby.
yeah,
And now we're just
yeah,
going to see
yeah,
the coaches probably speak highly of all the guys to hope that the competition in that group steps
yeah.
up. Because honestly, out of all those guys, nobody's been good. Everybody's been
No,
speculatively good. Everybody might
yeah,
have one good game. Even
yeah,
look at LaVisca, and he had one good game, and he's now
Now
been
he's
on the
hurt. He just
hurt.
can't stay
yeah,
on the field. That's
yeah.
So I
the
think
problem with him.
Him, Laviska, and Higgins seems to be the ones with the experience, but you don't always go by experience. I'd like to see Terrence Marshall Jr. do something, but
Yeah.
I'm going into it like, okay, dude, we're waiting on you. If you're going to do something, this is the year to
Now's your
do it.
time.
Exactly. So,
Yeah, you have any other questions for us?
no, that's about it. I appreciate y'all taking my question.
Hey,
Yeah,
thanks
well,
for
thank you for
tuning in
being
tonight.
on
Uh,
today. Good seeing you again.
Let me look at something really quick. I mean, yeah, I strongly don't think that they were like, hey, we're getting rid of him because we got our guy. I feel like they just got rid of him because they need to get rid of him. And
Yeah.
they're going to hope that some of these other guys step up.
And for Shi Smith, I feel like he's more of a slot. I think he's better suited as a slot receiver. But that number two spot, I mean, there's a whole group of guys that could fill in that spot, but none of them have really taken the mold or really separated themselves
Yeah, let
to
me
be able
break
to
something.
dedicate that.
Let me break something down for you in terms of these guys, right? Why to me this was just a move to get rid of Robbie, and we don't have the answer yet. And I kind of feel sorry for Coach Willis because for him to continue to get this job with so much chaos going on is tough. But here are our leading receivers: Christian McCaffrey. All right, well he's not going to be wide receiver more. DJ Moore, well he's already wide receiver number one. Robbie Anderson was third with 13. After that, guess who you got? Surprisingly, our tight end, Ian Thomas, has 10 receptions, 115 yards. He has more receptions than all of our wide receivers behind him that we have been talking about that could replace him. Shi Smith only has 8 catches. Giovanni Ricci has 5 catches. Tommy Tremble has 5 catches. Terrace Marshall, possible replacement, he has 4. Laviska Shenault, he has 2. So you look at all that you have after after Robbie Anderson, there's no number 2. We got a number 1 and then a bunch of number 3s and
Yep.
hopefully something to happen. But it doesn't.
I mean,
I'm
and
starting to
here's
get
the thing,
sad
when
as
you
I have this show.
here's the thing, when you have Giovanni Ricci, who is a fullback, have more catches than Laviska Shenault, Terrence Marshall, and I think Shi Smith as well, if I'm not mistaken. I
Well,
mean,
Shy
that
has
kind of,
more. Shy has 8. Giovanni
okay.
has 5.
But besides that, I mean, it kind of just encapsulates where things are with that receiver room right now. And again, there is potential. There is talent there. It's just a matter of producing. And none of them really so far collectively as a group has produced up to this point.
Hey Andre, is it time for me to start becoming Debbie Downer? I pride myself on being a real person and dropping my hominess when necessary to be a professional. But like, can we really say the talent is still there when at week 6, now going into week 7, our coach is still talking about execution?
I mean, sometimes you just have to be blunt, and that it's just a straight up truth when you put it that way. I
Hey,
mean,
we got potential,
but it
but
hasn't been reached yet.
yeah, Shi Smith, I really have been cheering. Anytime I interview a guy, I'll tell you, I'm like, go to be his fan. And I've been a big fan of Shi Smith. Was happy that he had the preseason and training camp that he had. Was happy that he was going to get some reps, but it's not been that good. And you know what else that I personally have a bone with in regards to Shi Smith? His punt returns. Let me see if I can get the average on that. His punt returns have been like the most uneventful things to watch, in my opinion. And I really thought that there was going to be
You're
a
not
chance
wrong.
for him to
You are
do
not
something.
wrong at all.
It's been completely uneventful. And you can tell he's trying something, but he goes nowhere. He has so far 10 returns, 3 of them were fair catches, 7.9 yards per return on the punt.
It's better than having Chuba Hubbard at least.
Andre
So,
Roberts, in his short stint, he had 1 for 10 yards.
and now he's out for the season.
And he's out. So
sadly, because he was actually going to be a pretty good returner for us. I mean, that was part of the reason why they brought him in, was to do that. But I mean, it's just been
anybody
a
ask us about Andre Roberts. I forget, Donald Duck asked us about Matt Corral all the time, but nobody asked about Andre Roberts.
Yet. He hasn't made an appearance yet, Mr. Donald Duck, surprisingly. I'm surprised that he's not here.
All right, let me get back on track here.
Yeah, where we at? Terrence Marshall's supposed to be in number 2, yeah, but he hasn't been. I'm just seeing this comment right here, but he just hasn't.
Sam Darnold will unlock DJ Moore.
I hope. I just don't see that happening. That's making the assumption that he'll play next Sunday, which is probably going to be the case, depending on what they do with him. Tin Tizzy, number 2 receiver, got to be Terrence Marshall Jr. We need to force value out of that draft pick. I mean, they traded up to get him, so you better hope that he's our second receiver. I mean, you made that move to get him, and he just hasn't been there up to this point. And at least they're playing him now. Before, I mean, at the beginning of the season, they didn't even want to play him. I mean, he was out for the first 3 games, and then Coach Rule was like, he had 3 good practices, and then they decided to play him. And now that he's playing, what has he done? Unfortunately, not a whole lot. I hate to say it.
I want to hear your opinion on the run first half that was clearly short and would have been 4th and 1 that turned into a Robinson TD next play. Why wouldn't we throw the challenge flag? Maybe I'm a little tired, but that one's going over my head. Andre, if you remember that sequence, you can talk about it.
I'm not sure about this one.
I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I'm certainly feel lost right now with that one.
Like he's referencing the Jaguars. I mean, we don't have. I don't know, that one over my head too. I'm not sure which one he was referring to there, because I know he challenged the catch in the second half. Steve Wilkes did. That unfortunately didn't get overturned because that was so pretty close call there. I think that's what he's referencing there, but I'm not 100% certain on that one. Why Big Jordan? Trading DJ is not smart next year. Who's the quarterback throwing the ball to? That's a fair point. I mean, rather than DJ, I mean, the weapons that we have they're just not there. I mean, they're either not on the field, they're not staying healthy, or they're just straight up not producing. Oh, Michael Boyton. He's been really active today, I must say. So shout out to you. Shout out for the donations. A super sticker. That's what we like to see around here on the Charlotte Vibe. He is a regular. I appreciate the support, my guy. Thank you very much for that. Oh, have you seen Locke's Maine?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to bring him up? Are we? He's been trying to avoid the slander that we're going to be giving him. He's been saying a lot of things on here, so we'll get to that here in a little bit. But Tin Tizzy Vibe, you should put the link in the video description to make it easier. I think he's referencing the link for people to come in.
That's a good idea, Tin Tizzy. I appreciate it. I will start trying to do that in the future.
And again, speaking of the link, if you do have something to say, any questions, comments, utilize that link. We're here for you, and we're here to listen and to see what y'all have to say. So definitely utilize that link. I know there are definitely more people out there who have some stuff that they want to get off their heads. So definitely utilize it if you can.
I'm just looking through these comments, trying to get on track here.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like we got some fighting going on.
It looks like, I mean, jeez. People are feisty today. I mean, understandably so. I mean, we're 1-5. Not a lot of good happening. Matt Rule is what happened to my Panthers. I mean, that's a pretty straightforward answer to what's been happening the past 3 years. I don't think it's just Matt Rule. He's definitely part of the problem, but he's not the only problem in that regard. Leonard Kowalski, I hope I pronounced that right. Get it here late, but good evening, Panthers Nation. What is going on? We appreciate you for having you on and tuning on in, spending some time with us here on a Monday. What else we got? Tin Tizzy. He's been active too. I like it. Pickle asked if we should force production out of Terrace Marshall Jr. I mean, you got to at this point.
I don't know how you force production out of a guy, but I will say this: what I hope for is that with Robby being out, that all these guys, Rashad, Laviska, Shy, Marshall, I don't know if I said his name twice, but they'll get more reps. And if anybody, in my opinion, could benefit from the more reps, it would be Terrace Marshall.
Yeah.
I feel like Shi Smith has had his share of getting the opportunity to shine, and he hasn't been able to take advantage of it so far. And Terrace Marshall has not had all the game reps that Shi Smith has had. So the hope would be with more reps, more comfortability, more relaxed, more, I would like to say cohesion with the quarterback, but man, we don't even know who the quarterback's going to be. We were down to our fifth quarterback.
Yeah. We had Jacob Eason in there yesterday, so that's pretty indicative of where things are at that position right now. So we'll see what happens this week, right?
Hey, so we're going to get a GoFundMe started from a man Locks Maine. He said his phone is having some problems. It won't charge. Locks, if it's not working by the end of the show, we'll go ahead and get that GoFundMe up.
We'll get Michael to shoot you some donations if we.
We'll get you some donations, or maybe you can shoot me your address. I got an old flip phone that it still works. It's 2G. But it's reliable. We'll get that over to you, Locks.
How was he able to make that comment if his phone wouldn't charge? I call cap on that one, if you ask me personally. How was he able to make that comment if his phone won't charge? I'm just saying. I don't know about that one, man. I call cap.
All right. All right.
So that red cap on that one.
So here's what we're going to do. Time for the lightning round. We're down to our last 10 minutes of the show. And as always, we appreciate people that take the time out and comment and join us on the show. So this is part of the show where we're going to run through things as quickly as possible to at least make sure that we say everybody's name that joined us on the show and took the time out to hang out with us this evening. So
absolutely,
me and Andre will cover this together. And I think I scrolled up too much. All right, here we go. Nope, that's not.
Away we go.
Not yet. I jumped the gun.
We're getting there.
Yeah, there we go. Help me entertain till I get to where we were. All right, here we go. E.M. Wharton. I would use that compensation that the Dolphins gave Kansas City as an idea of what the max Carolina could get for CMC. Leonard Kowalski, Rashad Higgins, maybe another shot.
I hope so. You brought him in for a reason. Use him.
True one, facts. 10, TMJ was the second round pick. Time to shine now.
This is the
play
time.
Higgins. So it's looking like play Higgins or play Marshall.
Mm-hmm. Those are the two guys.
Locksman, we're going to bring you back in here, show you some love.
Knew he was getting traded. Girton traded. Nice going with the spelling there. But we get the point. He knew it after that press conference, really after, when the game took place too. Resign KB. Is he referencing Kelvin Benjamin? We do need a tight end, so that could be a possibility. But as a receiver, I don't know about that one. Chief. Leonard Kowalski. I don't believe McAdoo called offense is going to lead a Panthers quarterback to winning a game this year. It's a fair point. It's there's a lot to be desired there with how things have gone so far in his tenure as offensive coordinator. But there's still time, right? You would think. Trying to keep it optimistic and upbeat here for him. Why Big Jordan? Don't worry, I'll ask about Matt Corral. So, any updates on Matt Corral, Chris? I know this has been like a weekly thing.
It's
Do
a
you have
weekly
anything
thing.
of significance
You know what I'm
in
gonna
reference
do?
to him?
I almost feel weird saying this. It's like I'm going to try to remember what he has on when I see him, so I can help bring some more visuals. But then I'm thinking, all right, I'm in the
Yes.
locker room taking notes about what a guy's wearing. I don't know if I want to do that, so I might just have to keep it at saying I saw him. He was on a scooter or not, type of thing.
Did he get
But
any haircuts? Any noticeable?
yeah, I'll have to watch for those things.
Yeah,
And
because
but
the people want to know, Chris.
they do
He
want
is
to
a
know.
very galvanizing individual, especially the people in these comments. That's
How
for
about
sure.
this one?
DJ Moore is going to be the NFL version of Bradley Beal. That's E.M. Worthen making that comment. I mean, he already got his bag, so there's that at least. Kenny Pickett, we'll just say Kenny P. Matt left with all this mess. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, it is pretty messy, I must say. Question: do you guys go to the practices? Like, do you get to see them live during the week? I'm confused by Higgins. Still like he was was he a preseason hero? I know, Chris, you can answer that first part of the question.
Yeah, so we get to go to practice every day, relatively Monday through. Well, they don't have practice on Tuesday, but Monday
Yeah.
there's no practice. Look, I'm retracting everything I say every single day. They'll say, "Oh, no Monday, no Tuesday." So we do get to go to their practices, but you're really not seeing anything. Once the season starts, it changes a lot where you only get to really see the guys stretch, and then you get to see them do something very, very vanilla. So I think it really equates to about the first 20 minutes of practice that you're able to see, so not much at all. Now, during the off season, we can watch the full OTA practice. We can watch the full things down in training camp, and then even though they broke training camp about a week early this year than they did previously in practice in Charlotte, we can see everything. So we can see all of full practices as long as it's not the regular season. Once the regular season starts, we can see practice, but it's only the first 20 minutes. So can't really tell you like what they're working on or who's improving or what's going on in practice. We have to rely on talking to the guys in the locker room and talking to the coaches that come to the podium. Appreciate the question, Scrims.
This is a very good question. And answers with Chris. I understand Wilkes' focus is about game planning and adjusting to an opponent, but man, that game plan just didn't seem right. It worked in the first half, but then again, you were able to keep the ball away from the Rams for a good bit of time. But once the Rams made their adjustments, that game plan made it look like toast with how it was just the time of possession in the second half. It was just a clear advantage to the Rams on that one.
All right, we're going to continue to try to scoot through here. We got about 3 minutes left, so running through it. Want to again shout out everybody that takes the time to join our show because we really appreciate it. Fayette 26 doesn't really matter who the wide receivers are. I mean, we have no quarterback. Amen.
That's a fair
man.
point.
Amen. Yep. I said a flip phone. Actually, I don't have a flip phone anymore, but I just moved, so I can't even probably find my old phone. So probably got thrown away.
Remember the Motorola Razors back in the early 2000s, man?
And they were expensive.
That was
were
like the
very expensive.
iPhone of the
crazy.
previous generation.
Any thoughts on when the quarterbacks Baker and Donald are activated and ready for practice that PJ Walker gets released, keeping Eason around as a third quarterback? So, glad you said that.
Mm-hmm.
So, this show is all about answering your questions. There's a lot of information I do know, but again, I want to try to just serve you guys on this Monday show. Darnold is likely to be activated this week, which means he can start getting ready. He has a 21-day window before he can be back into a game. If he's activated this week, I foresee him being ready for the Falcons game, not the Bucs game, because he just has to get back into some physical shape. Baker Mayfield, no timetable yet on him. He had an MRI Saturday that revealed some more damage in that in that foot.
Yep.
Foot, leg, lower extremity. How about that? In his lower body. And there's no timetable right now. Wilkes is saying once he gets more information tomorrow, which we don't get any reports tomorrow, they don't have to give us anything until Wednesday. So he's probably going to string us all out until Wednesday before we have something official on that. So it's really looking to be between PJ Walker and Eason again this week versus the Tampa Bay Bucs.
Oh, boy.
Releasing PJ Walker and seeing Eason, well, it'd be too soon. I mean, that's a possibility. Anything's a possibility. But right now, we all only saw literally one drive with Eason as a quarterback. And I feel like I understand it because we've had such big problems at the quarterback position. But it seems like this fan base gets so excited when a quarterback has good skills in practice, or a good part of skill, like Matt Corral with his quick release, or Eason with his strong arms. But it still doesn't mean anything until you can put it together for a game and read your reads, call your audibles, keep players in position and know what's going on. And a lot of coaches say about the 2 minutes, how you can perform. Well, at least Rule used to talk about how quarterbacks perform under 2 minutes. Like, we haven't seen any of that. So to say, get rid of PJ and keep Eason, no, way too soon. But if Eason opened the eyes with that one possession, well, then maybe we might, well, I was going to say we might see, but we don't get to see practice. Maybe the coach will give him a few more reps in practice because he knows he is the backup, and we can see something there. But 1 minute left. We're going to go a little bit over. Andre, I'm going to really quickly run through a bunch because we need to. Alec Oven, what's going on? Tim Estes, appreciate you tuning in as well. Paul Mancini. Max
value. Yeah, I'll
ahead.
take this one. For CMC as a second and a fourth round pick in a trade, maybe to the 49ers. Many teams don't simply value the running back position or run the ball as much as they used to. Plus, his salary is high. I mean, that is, the other perspective from the other side. That's how they view McCaffrey. But simply put, the Panthers, at a bare minimum, they want to have at least 2 first-round picks for them to even consider making a trade with a team like, with the 49ers or the Chiefs or the Bills. It would be hard to say at this point how soon that trade would happen. I mean, he's been in the rumor mill for the past couple of weeks. I know the trade deadline is on November the 1st, so that's in a little over 2 weeks. So you'll be seeing and hearing a lot of rumors in between now and that at the beginning of November to see where things go with that.
All righty. So let me continue to go through and make sure I shout out everybody. Joey Roylano, what's going on? Invite me on the show. Invite Andre on the show. I hadn't been on the show all year, but I know that was mostly my fault at the beginning of the season. Boogie Mon, what's going on? Alec Oven, Blackthorn. Have we seen Blackthorn? Yep.
No, there's a new one right here.
I've seen him before.
New viewer. I haven't seen
Appreciate
him
you.
yet, though.
We can't come to your question, unfortunately, because we're out of time, but I wanted to make sure I said what's up to everybody, and I did. Last but not least, Michael Boynton with a $10 super chat that we appreciate. He says, take my Starbucks allowance, take it and get the 10,000 subs. So, hey, we're going to wrap it up, but I am very excited. I've been talking about, actually, I haven't been talking about, I've been thinking about so much that we're going to do at Charlotte Vibe, improving things, and it's happening. Okay, so this Sunday at the latest is when you're going to see some new technology from us. You're going to see much clearer broadcasts from me and Andre, especially when we're on site pregame and postgame on the field, which I think you all will appreciate. We even have the ability, drum roll, you ready for it? We even have the ability to broadcast in 4K. I don't know if we're going to, I'm going to have to save that one for a sponsor. I think they do Walmart on TV, right? On NFL games.
That is
the Walmart 4K thing.
Yeah. I believe so with NBC, right? Walmart Plus.
Yeah.
That's their sponsor for that.
So we have that coming. We have our pregame show will continue to get better. Not yet this week, as far as what I'm thinking that I'm not telling you about. Now I'm going to tell you. Panther Nation Podcast usually joins us in the pregame show. That's likely going to continue during the preseason. So shouts out to Rashad and Dave for everything that they do. And when they collaborate with us, it's always fun and appreciative. So look forward to what's going to look more like an official CBS pregame show.
We're constantly evolving. It's a beautiful thing.
Hey, we might have to, everybody that's watching that watches Panther Nation Podcast, should we get Rashad to put on a suit and tie for the pregame show instead of the jersey, right? Should we get him the suit and tie?
I feel like he could definitely rock it. He definitely has some combinations that he would like to pull out for the games coming up here soon.
And
we're going to see that wardrobe of his.
Yes,
sure.
Yes. And then you're also going to see other media people join us on the show. on a weekly basis, and you're also going to see players start to join us on this show. So, Michael Boyton, your donation helps, appreciate it, and thank you very much for that you have done.
Yes, absolutely.
And
It is greatly appreciated. That is some good stuff right there, my guy.
so, what you guys don't know is a door about 2 feet this way, and now everybody's upstairs because it's time to get the kids to bed, which means the show must come to an end.
Unfortunately.
Have you guys seen the family lately? When was the last time we said, should we wait? Make him wait till after
Oh,
a
I
win,
can hear
maybe?
him. I can tell you that.
You heard the little guy?
I can hear him. Is he going to make a special appearance?
Is he gonna make the? Hold on. Hey, I'm gonna get the big little guy. Hey, Cameron.
Oh, here we go.
Cameron.
I know you're thinking about it over
I'm-
there. Don't be shy.
I'm calling him, but he's not answering. Well, I guess he doesn't want to be on the show. Normally, he just can't wait to be on the show.
I guess he just wants to see you. I think that's what it comes down to. He
You think
wants
that's
you to
what
be.
it is?
I think he wants you to hop off, and he wants to spend some time with the man of the people.
Oh, actually, he's come in here. So, like,
Is he?
I'm gonna widen the screen. Come on in
Okay.
here. Look at the small smile that's on his face. All right, come right here.
Oh, look at that.
Go ahead. You can sit right there so you can come down a little bit. All right. So, look into
What
that
is
camera
up?
right there and tell the people what you think about Robby Anderson being traded to the Arizona Cardinals.
He wasn't any good, honestly.
I like it. He gets straight to the point. I like him.
Okay. And then lastly, you can say you gotta look right into that camera there, right? And then you tell look at you.
Oh man.
What you don't see off camera is his little brother he just opened the door like, why am I not in here part of this show? So, somebody said you're huge. Did you see that? Uh-oh.
Oh,
You see that right
You
there?
might see an afro
Oh,
start to
yes.
pop up on
Yeah.
the screen.
You've been
Did
hitting
you
the
see
gym. That's what he's saying. It looks like.
All right, so go ahead and tell what you want to see. The number one thing you want to see the Panthers change this season. Or add. Uh-oh, your brother's about to do something.
they need to add going for more fourth downs, and they do a lot of passes that are like 2 yards, and you start going a little bit deeper, and they just gotta do better. And I think Steve Wilkes will be a good coach. I think that game yesterday, it just Rams are good anyways. I was expecting that to happen, and Robby did that to himself. I don't know if he wanted to leave or not, but
Oh my God! Look at that. That is awesome right there. It's a family affair over here on the Charlotte Vibe. What's up, my guy? I mean, those are some very, very, very good points there.
thanks.
So you know who that is?
That's your co-host.
That's Andre.
Yeah, what is up?
What's up?
All right, we'll let you. All right, we're gonna. Mom wants them to ask you a question, so we're gonna let them get a question. So, Cameron, everybody that's still watching, last thing, we'll get Cameron a question, and see whatever you guys. And you can't. I'm gonna widen my screen so you can see my little guys. I'm gonna throw everything that's in here. Look at this guy. All right, so we got one question for Cameron before we get out of here. Andre, you can say one if you got one for him.
Yeah, I'm trying to look right now to see if there's one on there. Locks Main is saying some things. He said, Junior, tell Andre give you his toupee. First of all, this is real hair. I don't know how many times I got to stress this to you, Locks Main. I got a haircut just for you.
I
So-
need one.
I guess
All right.
I can donate some to you. How about that?
So that's
That'll
it for
work out.
today. All right, here's you go. You got some questions.
Oh,
Cameron.
is there one down there?
There you
Who's
go.
your favorite player on the team?
Who said that?
That's Rodney W. That's at the bottom of the comment section there. Who's your favorite player?
Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey.
He's better than pretty much everybody on the team. And
Man, he is honest. He just gets straight to the point. I like it.
Have you ever met a
player? Yeah, have you ever met a player before?
not yet.
Hey, that's gonna change soon, man. Before you know it, you're gonna be meeting some good people. That is for sure.
Andre,
we want to play for the Panthers, me and him.
I'm gonna let you wrap us up, man. You can do the closing.
All right. Well, that was just awesome right there, seeing everybody there. It's a family affair, like I said, here on the Charlotte Vibe. But thanks again to everybody out there who took time out of their day to spend some time with us and to really just talk about what we like talking about. It's just Carolina Panthers, even though it's been, kind of an up and down year, more down than up. But again, thank you to everybody for taking some time and spending the hour with us. It was definitely a great show today. Very lively comment section, I must say. So thank you for doing that. And of course, for, taking the time to be able to leave comments and to like and subscribe onto our page. So for Chris and for everybody on that side of the screen, I am Andre Cassidy. Thank you for tuning on in and stopping on by here. Have a great evening, everybody.